Hi, I'm Barry Sahajian. Welcome to my bass tutorial pages. If you're new here or haven't yet subscribed, please do and hit the bell so you can be notified of all the videos that I'm going to be producing in the upcoming weeks. I'd like to start out with a few tips on technique. First of all, your hand has got to be loose. I mean, if you tighten up with this type of playing, you're going to get in trouble. It's all about being very, very loose. And that's the only way you can really do this. And it might be contrary to what you think, because you have to come up with exaggerating emotion a little bit so you can kind of swing a little bit, like I'm taking a lot of extra motion here, but what happens is I can make that upstroke really strong without putting a lot of muscle into it. You might want to practice some just up and down on the strings. That gets boring pretty quick. Instead of doing that, let's take the two licks that I used on the introduction. And what it's based on is a fatback beat of a drummer. So let's take a look at that. So it's that's the rhythm. So we'll play that rhythm with an up and down double thumb slapping technique, just that, and then we'll add the pop and take variations on it so we can build some licks that you can play. Okay, on the first example, I'm going to play that rhythm that I just tapped out on the bass, and we're going to use just slapping to do that on one string. And 2 and a 3 and 4 and 2 and a 3 and 4. One thing you might want to practice doing this is just the 4 dead notes and the live slap. Couple of things I'd like to point out. I'm kind of muting with the left hand on the dead notes to make it fuller, and then I release my hand so I can get a nice full bright live note, and I'll do that slowly to show you. Play it a little slower. When you played the lick that I just showed you, you had a whole beat in between to hit your pop. So it gave you time to get there. Now let's get the pop right after the two up-down strokes with the double thumb. Now that becomes a little more difficult, but it opens up more avenues for making variations on the lick. Down, up, pop, hammer. You notice when I did that, I wasn't really swinging up and down so high because my technique is sort of there, but in the beginning it might be a good idea to get you rolling. But when as you get better at any technique, economy of motion increases, and that's just part of the game. I'm going to break down example 2 right now. I'll do it beat by beat and show you that there are dead notes mixed in with live notes here and syncopation, so this lick is a little involved, and it's best to play it really overemphasizing the articulation when you're playing it slow and getting started, so you don't be ghosting the notes when you play it. yeah, play it at a better tempo, because that would kind of compromise the feel. So I kind of dig in when I practice the articulation on things like this, and best time is when you're going through it slowly. First beat would be dead note on the D, and then slapping down, live note on the up slap of the thumb, and then the pop. Second beat would be a live note on the D with the down slap, and then live note down, dead note up, dead note down, pop. And then the last one would be, the last beat, which is beat 3, would be dead note, live note, dead note, live note, pop. So that's on the D, and then the D octave. Three E and a 4. 3 E and a 4. Okay, the whole thing slowly right now. Okay, let's break down example number 3. One of the things that makes example number 3 a little more unique is that part of the line you have an upstroke with the thumb on a downbeat. So, you know, most of the things you hear is all like downstroke with the thumb is a downbeat. 1 and da, 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 da. But this line turns it around, so part of the line comes, you have a 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and that's what makes it unique, and that's what makes it sound different. Not only that, this is based on a chromatic scale. That's what this line is, a chromatic scale. But with the thumb up and down and turning it around and reversing it makes it sound interesting. And anyway, let me go into the line a little bit. I'll show you what's going on technically, and then I'll show you a bunch of things you can use. The first part of the line is based on what the previous line was in number 2. So that's down, up, and then pop. I'm going to go over the second part of that line, which is the chromaticism. And for now, I really don't have time to go into the chromatic line as deep as I'd like to, so I'm going to continue that on the next episode of double thumb slapping. But I'll give you the basics of this, and you practice that a bit, and that'll help you out quite a bit, just this one measure line. And it has a bit of a formula. The formula is you hit an octave, and that would be thumb and then a pop. That's easy enough. Now the next beat you go over and you play starting from the next note up, which is an E flat, but this time you hit a dead note down with the thumb and then an up pull with the thumb, which kind of would be a pop. I guess I would call this an upstroke thumb pop, and then a live note. You go up to the E, you hit once again down with the thumb on the E, a dead note, and then up with the thumb, a pop with the up stroke of the thumb, and then a pop on the E octave, 9th fret. So that would complete your 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Okay, so now you do it again. And again if you want. So let's look at that again. Okay, that's 2 measures. So you could, what I just did was go from D to G, and that worked out 2 measures perfectly. Or you can just go from 1 whole step. descent. So there's a lot of places you can go and a lot you can do with this, and I'd like to return to it and extend on it on the next episode. Having said that, I'd like to remind you that I have a Patreon page where you can download the tab and a play-along, a 3-minute play-along of each, actually it's 2 to 3 minutes long, the play-along of each of the examples in this tutorial. What I do on it is I play the example at the beginning of the play-along to refresh you, and so you can get orientated with the lick, and then for the remainder of the 2 minutes or so, it's just the drum beat, which is designed to kind of coordinate with the bass line. And so you can download the MP3 of that and the tabs on Patreon, Patreon.com/Barry on Bass. I have a link for that on the description of the video. So having said that, I ask you once again if you would please subscribe, like, or comment, or all three. And thank you for stopping by, and hope to see you again soon.